Governor Gavin Newsom is trolling Donald Trump on Twitter right now, and Fox News is not happy about it. Take a look.
Gavin Newsom, meantime, posting this on X, Liz, using all capitals, of course, trying to mock Trump, use Trump style. He's been doing this for a while now. He says, quoting, Trump just fled the podium with Putin. No questions, nothing. Total low energy. The man looked like he'd just eaten 3 buckets of KFC with Vlad. Admit it, Donnie J. You're terrified because this was the worst week of your life because of me, Gavin C. Newsom. I think he's trying to be funny. I don't know what he's trying to do, but it comes across as childish. And you're the governor of the biggest state in the union. What are you doing?
You know, Sam, he's trying to be funny, but we don't know if this works. Maybe typing in all capital letters is actually unprofessional for an elected official. Shouldn't Gavin Newsom know better than to really disrespect his office with such irresponsible behavior?
Yeah, you know what, Micah? This is so disrespectful. In fact, I wonder where he gets it from. Oh, wait, it's actually the President of the United States who literally just does this all day, every day at 4 a.m. for the last decade. The thing that's so crazy about that clip is that this Fox News host, and actually every single Fox News host since Gavin Newsom started tweeting like this, they've been like clutching their pearls and being like, oh my God, why is Gavin Newsom, he's disrespecting the office of the governor. What does he do? And I'm just sitting here like, do y'all really, are you this dumb? Like, this is your guy.
It's easy to troll them too. It's just like he's literally word for word doing the same stuff. Let me pull up a few examples of these just so we can refer to them. He's using AI images, right? Like this one, which is hilarious. He literally did the Time magazine post with him having a crown on his head. And he says, a successful Liberation Day, thank you. This is like a verbatim copy of a Trump post. Meanwhile, Republican accounts are responding to this as if this is genuine. They're like, oh, liberals said they are against kings. They had a no kings protest. Now they support a king. Don't y'all see that you're hypocrites? It's like, it's incredible that it's just gone so far above their head they don't understand what's happening right now.
They have no conception of the fact that this is, y'all, we are pranking you. Like, we're making fun of you, dude. Like, I know what you're talking about with the MAGA people. I saw actual replies to that Long Live the King one where they're like, oh, I thought liberals were against kings. What the hell? And we're like, your guy posted that, and we all had a problem with it because it's fucking insane. And now you're getting a taste of your own medicine and you don't really like it. So I don't know if anyone wants to call out Gavin Newsom for defacing the office of an elected official or the governor or whatever. The literal president is doing this.
Gavin's currently better at this stuff than Trump is. I'm going to his account right now to pull it up. Look, we got a new fresh one, right, just a fresh one just right off the press. Okay. Wow, my maps, the best maps ever made, will soon pass in the greatest legislature anywhere in the world, not just America. America can thank me, Gavin C. Newsom, and 2 very special people, Magic Mike and Rainmaker Robert. It's amazing. It's amazing that, like, he's gotten Trump style down, I think, better than Trump at this point. Random quotation marks. Putting things in parentheses, Magic Mike and Rainmaker Robert. That he's referring to 2 California elected officials. And honestly, I love it. I hope they don't stop. And it's just hilarious to watch Republicans melting down over these tweets, which it's like they think it whenever Trump does it, it's completely based. But when Gavin Newsom does it, it's completely deranged.
Yeah, it's cringe when Gavin does it. The funniest part about this, Micah, I don't know if you saw, but Trump has since stopped tweeting in all caps since Gavin Newsom started making fun of him. If you go to Trump's Truth Social, it's all of a sudden much more serious and presidential. All of a sudden, I wonder why. Maybe it's getting to Trump.
Right. I think it is getting to Trump. I think it's getting to him that Gavin C. Newsom is mogging him in his own style. I mean, this is so iconic. I mean, quote from the tweet, people are already screaming, mama, mama. And I say, no, I am your daddy. The golden era begins in the Golden State.
This is of course a reference to Trump calling himself daddy, and then all of the MAGA accounts saying, yeah, you are our daddy. That's totally a very straight male alpha move right there, to call another guy your daddy.
And there's all these AI generated images of just Gavin Newsom being jacked or like doing crazy things. And it's like, honestly, if you just started paying attention to politics today, you'd be like, this is totally deranged. this is like totally off the wall. And then it's like, but no, actually, this is what Republicans have been doing since 2016. And for the first time ever, Democrats are doing it back to them. And I wonder, it's like, maybe we look like to Republicans what Republicans right now look like to us. They're just so like whiny and upset and triggered by obvious jokes.
So the thing is like, as like liberals, we get mad so often at the shit that Trump tweets. And now that Gavin Newsom is doing it, I totally fucking get it. I get the appeal, man. I understand why Trump has a cult following, because it feels so good to have a guy who's gonna go out there and just lambast every other clown ass politician. And that's what Gavin Newsom is doing.
Absolutely. And I'm going to Trump's Truth Social right now because, of course, he doesn't post on Twitter anymore. And, like, look at this. This is so boring. The crime numbers are way down. I just want to thank you. Boring as hell. A great honor to visit some of the federal agents and National Guard troops working to make Washington, D.C. safe. I mean,
Dude,
what happened to his juice?
Notice that there's no caps anymore. And all of a sudden, it's like kind of like what a president should be tweeting. I don't know. Maybe we should have done this like 10 years ago.
Well, he's still doing capitalization wrong. Dustin Burrows is a true capital warrior for Republicans.
Yeah, I don't really. I've never understood his mental state where he decides what word is capitalized and what word isn't. But so we actually asked Gavin Newsom. Gavin was on. We interviewed the governor on another show on the Siren Network, actually the Siren podcast. It was a panel of some other creators that you might recognize, and they had a chance to actually ask the governor about his tweets, and we brought up some of those AI-generated pictures that he's been posting, of course, mocking Trump. Those are literally the same stuff that Trump posts, like himself with Jesus, himself with like MLK.
Wait, Sam, those images are real, though.
Well, actually, yeah. So yeah, nothing about it has been touched. But we asked him about it. We'll show the clip of the governor reacting to that because it's honestly quite hilarious. Yeah, so I think that this is sort of kind of what we need to do right now to like get the media attention, and like this is just what politics is in 2025. You have to dominate social media in order to be, unfortunately, in order to be winning the conversation.
Playing the clip.
These memes of you riding a velociraptor with like a 12-pack and 2 freaking rifles in your hand.
Oh, I know. I'm in good shape. How about my bicep?
I bet you could do a real pull-up on like
head
death and the other. Yeah. You also circumnavigated the globe. You've rescued many kittens and puppies, all while holding the flag.
I know. I'm part of Superman 3 or 5 now. Yeah, that's right. I'm sitting down there. Dinosaurs. I'm flying around. What the heck? By the way, I literally, honestly, this is not where I'm scrolling. So this is stuff that people send me, like my little nieces and nephews. They're all sending me this stuff. And I'm like, oh gosh, what is going on out there? Yeah. Okay. There you go. Back to look. I've been legit, right? You like the biceps?
You know what?
That's a real photo, by the way. This has not been touched.
Right. Like it's
Not
really
a damn
not
part of
that
that was
far off.
touched.
Bam. Gavin Newsom every single time kills it. Okay. Love it or hate the guy. I love his hair gel. I think he's fantastic at this stuff. And honestly, I feel like a lot of liberals have had the experience in the past few weeks of going from, I don't really know about Gavin Newsom. I don't really know about California. There's tons of controversial news coming out about them all the time, to the position that I now have, which is, listen, I'm going to put aside every single possible grievance I had against California and Gavin Newsom because he's doing the one most important thing, my number one political priority, owning the cons, making the cons mad, okay? That is the agenda that America needs, and he's clearly killing it at that. Also, Sam, I want to fact check you real quick. Clearly, you are not watching and reading enough True Social posts because Donald J. Trump has brought back all capitalized letter tweets / True Social posts as of August 21st. Guys, we don't spread fake news on here. This is the truth. Look at this. All in all caps. It's about MSNBC, Brian Roberts. I'm not going to read the whole thing because, honestly, they make my brain hurt.
So on a much more serious level, this whole Twitter saga where Gavin Newsom is mocking Trump in this like crazy way, this was started because Donald Trump called up Greg Abbott and Texas Republicans, and he said, I want you to basically gerrymander your your state, which is already incredibly gerrymandered in the Republicans' favor, and I want you to do it even more because I want 5 more congressional seats ahead of 2026. Of course, he's doing this because all of his tariff policies and the big bullshit bill are so incredibly unpopular. Like, Trump came into office and promised that egg prices would be up and gas prices would be down and everything would be more affordable. And literally the exact opposite has happened. We all know that. But so Trump came and said, Gavin or Greg Abbott, I want you to start gerrymandering your state. And Greg Abbott said, you know what, Donald Trump, I absolutely will do that. And they started pushing through this crazy redistricting plan. And what Gavin Newsom has done so brilliantly is he said, okay, if you're going to redistrict your state illegally in the middle of a decade, which is you're not supposed to do, that's not what the Constitution calls for, then we're going to do the same thing in California, not because we want to gerrymander California, but because we need to fight back, and we can't just let Republicans basically rig the 2026 midterms and stay in office forever. So that's actually what California has been doing. And just today, before we started recording, Gavin Newsom signed into law the official California redistricting plan,
which has to be voted on by the voters. So both the state House and state Senate of California voted for it, but California has a more democratic system for these things. So their people actually get a vote, and that's going to be happening on November 4th. So if you know anybody who lives in California, tell them to vote yes to get rid of 5 Republicans so that we can even the playing field with these far-right states like Texas, which are trying to rig the next election. And as you can see from this map I just put up, this is the new Republican congressional map that they've drawn for the state of Texas. Keep in mind, Democrats are 45% of the population in Texas. Under this map, they get something like 20% of the seats, just a bit over that. That's a ridiculous level of underrepresentation. There's 13 or 14 Republican-controlled states in this country that have 0 Democratic congressional seats. We know that gerrymandering on net benefits Republicans to the tune of 5 to 15 seats, depends on which independent organization you ask. That's the reason why whenever Biden was president and tried to ban gerrymandering at the national level, not once, but twice, Republicans blocked him with a filibuster both times. That's the reason why Republicans right now, despite having the ability to ban gerrymandering nationwide and get rid of all the map rigging, instead of doing that, they're not doing that. They're commanding red state after red state to gerrymander even more Democrats out of office, frankly, taking more seats for themselves without a single person voting for it. It's totally unacceptable.
Yep, and Texas Democrats actually fled the state of Texas for 2 whole weeks. It was incredibly expensive and risky. They faced arrest because Greg Abbott said that he would send the Texas National Guard or whatever, the state police, to arrest them. And they did this so that Republicans wouldn't be able to pass this horrible gerrymandering bill through. Of course, they just did. And recently, Greg Abbott he's been holding essentially hostage one of the Texas Democratic state reps, Rep. Nicole Collier, and she had to basically sleep inside of the floor of the Texas House of Representatives because she wasn't allowed to leave if she didn't sign a permission slip to be basically accompanied everywhere by some sort of Texas National Guard or police presence. Literally just like a fascist dictator. That's what this is.
These people are fascist thugs. They talk all day about personal freedom and keeping big government out of their lives. Meanwhile, when they get power, they create a police state, ICE agents running around our communities, arresting American citizens, and now trying to arrest members of the opposition party. They actually have arrested members of the Democratic Party for no crime in the state of New Jersey. 2, a mayor and a congresswoman. But in this case, they're trying to arrest Texas Democrats, both the Attorney General of the state of Texas, the governor of the state of Texas, and the Speaker of the House of the state of Texas. They're trying to arrest Democrats from Texas for the crime of traveling from one state, Texas, to another state. Last time I checked, all of these Democrats are U.S. citizens who have the right as citizens of this country, based on the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, to move wherever the hell they want in this country. That's their right. And now the Republicans are trying to arrest them for it, actually confining one of these representatives in her quarters and making sure she gets like a hall pass to leave the Capitol. What kind of absurd country do we live in? Meanwhile, all the Republicans who for years told us that we were deranged for thinking that they were authoritarian. Meanwhile, now that they're in power, every single day they prove that we were right and they were lying.
Yeah, and mind you, I mean, this sounds like a scene from like 1984 or like The Hunger Games, like some dystopian novel, but unfortunately it's real life right now. Mind you, they're doing this and threatening to arrest Texas Democrats and keeping them hostage inside of the legislature because Republicans literally just want to silence and basically silence their own constituents and make their voice ineffective. That's why they're doing this. Like, it's not to give people free healthcare or it's not to make anyone's life substantially better in any sort of regard. It's actually to just do some horribly undemocratic, unconstitutional thing, which of course at this point is par for the course for Trump and Republicans.
We now have the video of Greg Abbott responding to California's redistricting effort, which, mind you, is in response to Texas's redistricting effort. Let's see what he has to say.
What the Democrats have done is disgraceful and potentially illegal. I'll tell you this much. If California dares to try to squeeze out more Republicans, there are going to be lawsuits that will overturn that. What I can tell you in the state of Texas, the 5 Republican seats that we are adding, they are going to withstand legal challenges, and those will be Republican members added to the United States Congress.
So it's outrageous. It is just insane when Democrats redraw the maps to get rid of Republicans. But when Republicans redraw the maps to get rid of Democrats, it's totally fine and 100% legal. How about that?
He sounds like a fucking psychopath. Like, what is he actually saying? Like, he's acting like he didn't just do the same thing. He started this, like, literally 2 weeks ago. And now, you know, it's all of a sudden, when a Democrat does something wrong, it's illegal, it's unconstitutional, it's undemocratic. Like, give me a fucking break, man. Like, you started this.
And it isn't wrong. It's based because unilateral disarmament is loss to the people in the audience that say, Micah, gerrymandering is bad. You know, Democrats shouldn't gerrymander back in response to Republicans. It's just like, do you guys realize that if Republicans gerrymander every single state and Democrats don't respond to them, Republicans just win every election de facto? I mean, they could get literally 40% of the vote and they could still win the House. And already the Senate's rigged in their favor. And already the Electoral College rigs the presidency in their favor. And already they're purging Democrats from the voter rolls. They're trying to get Act Blue, the biggest Democratic fundraising platform, shut down. They're coercing law firms into giving them hundreds of billions of dollars of free legal representation. They're coercing academic institutions into suppressing liberal voices. They're silencing immigrants. Every legal immigrant in this country is now at risk of deportation for saying things that are against this administration. They're already using every single tool in their toolbox to rig the next election against us, and we're supposed to sit down and take it? I don't think so. But that's enough for that topic. Let's move on to the next one. Donald Trump, in classic fashion, has announced that he is proposing legislation, just kidding. No, he is signing an executive order which will end mail-in voting around the country. Take a look.
So between paper ballots, very, very important, paper ballots, and I think maybe even more important, the mail-in voting. We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud.
Yeah, so he has this video clip, and in this tweet, he goes on about how we're getting rid of mail-in ballots. And he says he's signing an executive order to bring honesty to the 2026 midterm elections. Nowhere here does he call for legislation in states. And for those of y'all who are not experts in the Constitution, the states are actually the ones who are in charge of controlling elections. They're the ones who have power over what kind of ballots can be cast and the exact procedures used for elections. So really, technically, Trump should have nothing to do with this other than potentially asking respectfully governors to change the laws that they've enacted.
Yeah, and the craziest thing about this clip and about this insane tirade from Trump is that he got this idea to end mail-in ballots from Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, another dictator who has basically ended free and fair elections inside of his own country. So it's just another example of Trump basically getting his like unreal, insane, like undemocratic ideas from literally like one of the most visible, brutal dictators in all of human history.
Sam, Vladimir Putin got 88.48% of the vote. What do you mean?
I wonder how that happened. I wonder how that happened.
His opponent got 4.37% of the vote.
But it's so wild because like I don't know if it was in the clip that you showed, but Trump he goes, the states have to do what I say. We're the federal government. I'm the president. You have to do what I say. And that's just that literally goes against the entire essence of the founding of our country, which is like, actually, no, we don't have to do whatever the president says. Like, we're a democratic country. And by the way, isn't Trump about states' rights? Isn't this the guy who said that abortion should be put back to the states because of the states need to all decide? And he said that gay marriage should be turned back to the states. And we have Republicans talking about turning interracial marriage back over to the states. Like, what happened to states' rights? As soon as something is inconvenient for them and that they want to just be a tyrannical, dictatorial entity, then all of a sudden the federal government is important.
Right. So when their position is unpopular and they know they don't have the power to do something nationally, what do they say? They say local control, right? Gay marriage? Okay, that's fine. Do it in your states. We're going to have local control and we're going to ban gay marriage in our states. Abortion? Okay, do it in your states. We're going to ban abortion in our states, right? And now they actually have power federally. And so now they don't really care about local control anymore. They say, oh, you want to vote by mail? You want to have early voting? You want to have automatic voter registration? You want to make it actually possible for people to cast a ballot and have a voice in the future of the country? No. We're going to have one national policy, and that national policy is going to be chosen by one person, the president of the United States, right? But don't worry, we're not authoritarian. This isn't a dictatorship. Just because Trump says that he wants to be king doesn't mean that he's actually serious about it. And just because he says things like, let me see, remember the states are merely an agent for the federal government in counting and tabulating the votes. They must do what the federal government, as represented by the president of the United States, tells them.
Yeah, man, that's just straight up a dictator. And by the way, he's doing this because Putin told him that the 2020 election was rigged. Like, I think like a million different like independent review boards and election committees have said that the 2020 election and the 2024 election were like the most sound and safe and secure elections that we've had as a country. And this is coming from the guy who actually, the election that he first won the presidency in 2016, that was actually the election in which there was Russian interference. And
there was Russian interference. There was Russian interference in 2020 and 2024,
right?
And in 2016, they didn't compromise the results in any of the different cases. There was a billion court cases that the Trump team and Trump aligned, Trump Inc., organizations and officials launched. They lost almost every single one. The few ones they won were really minor, right? He lost in a landslide in 2020.
Yeah, it's essentially. It's been widely reported on by a number of news sources.
Like the most explored topic in the history of topics.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's been again widely reported on that Russia sends, like, they have a department in their government dedicated just of people, Russians, who are paid to have fake Twitter accounts posing as Americans, talking about I'm an American and I hate Joe Biden, or I'm a black American and I'm happy to support Donald Trump. These things have been exposed time and time again. So I like, it's funny to me. Putin's the one telling him that the 2020 election was rigged or tampered with. Yeah, bro, by you. And Trump is stupid enough to be like, you know what? He's right. We have to go full fascist.
Well, yeah, just to point to one example of Russia funding influencers in the United States, some of y'all might know some terrible people like Benny Johnson, guy he's pictured here with DJT, right? Is this Donald? Not Eric Trump, I mean, not DJT, not the OG. We have, there's Tim Pool, there's Benny Johnson, there's the Rubin from the Rubin Report, some of the biggest right wingers in
classy
media,
guys.
And these guys received millions of dollars from Russian intelligence, as exposed by a federal indictment. And whenever they were exposed, they didn't even deny that this was actually Russian money. They didn't even say it was fake news because they knew that actually could be used against them in a court of law, and they're going to not lie probably because they don't want to go to prison. What do they say? They said, well, we didn't know about it. We didn't know the guy was Russian. We didn't know the guy that was giving us millions of dollars was Russian. And it's remarkable that these same right-wing influencers, Benny Johnson's one of the biggest in the United States in terms of right-wing influencers, to this day, they're still saying it's a hoax that Russia's trying to be involved in our politics. Benny Johnson said that Obama should be arrested for saying that Russia was interfering in our politics.
Yeah.
Truly extraordinary, and clearly Russia is really, I think, the supreme arbiter on what free and fair elections look like. I mean, after all, Putin has only killed his most recent political opponent basically in broad daylight. So what more could you ask for?
Yeah, again, if you ask these people anything that goes against their worldview or their belief system, they'll just tell you that it's a hoax and it's a witch hunt and that it's Democrat propaganda. And honestly, they own all of Twitter and they cover a lot of Facebook with this shit, and a lot of people just sadly believe it. And it's a sad state of affairs.
It is a sad state of affairs. But if you want more Democratic propaganda, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and also subscribe to the Siren. The Siren is a creator-driven and founded media company that me and a bunch of other creators put together here. Sam is the mastermind behind organizing this. We believe that there's not enough representation for people in our perspective on social media. We've seen the right dominate the internet since 2016. Actually, since before that, they've had a deliberate strategy to help young creators, small creators, get started so that they could win the war online. And we're trying to do our part to fight back because the truth needs to get out. So make sure to subscribe, support the Siren on Substack, and I'll see y'all soon.